Wait, did anyone else notice that Sage already won before the Gen V finale even ended? While chaos exploded at Godalkin, she was quietly pulling every string that mattered. Homelander, Vought, Ryan. Even the resistance that doesn't know it's being used. And here's the crazy part, the real war hasn't even started yet. I thought I understood that ending. Homelander flexes, Marie's in lockdown, chaos everywhere. But then I rewatched one tiny conversation. Just one line. And it changed everything I thought I knew about this universe. What if Sage's plan isn't about control at all, but about erasing the entire system from the inside out? Yeah, stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see how Gen V secretly sets up the final, bloody chess game of The Boys Season 5. A game where the smartest person in the room might also be the deadliest. When I first watched the finale, I focused on Marie's power, on Sam's outburst, the big flashy stuff. But the second time through, I realized every chaotic scene was a distraction. Sage was quiet, calm, calculating. While everyone screamed, she just watched. And that's when it hit me. Gen V's ending wasn't a cliffhanger, it was a coronation. Vought didn't survive by luck. It survived because Sage made sure it did. Now ask yourself this: what happens when the smartest supe alive becomes CEO of the world's most corrupt company? Yeah, we're about to find out. Here's the issue: fans are split. Half the audience thinks the finale was a messy setup for the boys. The other half says it was the boldest episode since Harrogasm. But everyone agrees on one thing: it left us confused as hell. We've got missing heroes, Chemo, Frenchie, Huey, Butcher, all off the radar. Annie's running a resistance, A-Train switching sides, and Homelander's smiling like he already knows the ending. The timeline? 6 months jump? And in those 6 months, everything we thought we understood has already fallen apart. Now here's where the controversy hits Sage's so-called Phase 2 plan. We still don't know what it is. The show never tells us. The finale teases it, then cuts away. But if you piece together her scenes, her language, her alliances, it's terrifying. She's not helping Vought rebuild, she's preparing it for collapse. Controlled collapse. Like a demolition expert smiling while the walls crack behind her. And hey, before we dive deeper into this web of betrayal, if you love theory-driven breakdowns like this, real analysis, no fluff, hit subscribe right now. Because the next few minutes are going to expose things even Prime Video never meant you to notice. Let's rewind. Gen V Season 1 ends, The Boys Season 4 picks up directly after. Gen V Season 2 jumps forward 6 months. Then The Boys Season 5 starts. That 6-month window, that's not random. It's surgical. It gives Sage time to consolidate power, and it gives Butcher time to die slowly. Remember, the doctor gave Butcher 12 to 18 months tops. So by Season 5, he's circling the drain, and that means leadership shifts. No more Butcher giving the speeches. No more Mother's Milk running cleanup. Now it's Annie and A-Train, the Angel and the Runner, leading an underground resistance against an empire of fascist supes. Let that sink in. Vought now controls the Seven, the media, and the police. Homelander is their public god. And Sage, she's the mind behind the throne. So when showrunner Eric Crick said, "You're in an entire country that has drunk Homelander's Kool-Aid," he wasn't joking. It's literal. Every small town now has its own local hero, its own enforcer. You can't fight that army with a handful of rebels. You need strategy. You need someone who can predict chaos before it starts. And that's Sage. But here's the paradox: if Sage is the mastermind, why does she tolerate Homelander's madness? Why risk everything by keeping him alive? Because she needs him. Homelander is chaos incarnate, and chaos makes people beg for order. When the public gets scared enough, Sage can offer that order, and they'll call her a savior. That's her real genius. She's not fighting for good or evil, she's weaponizing both. Think about it. In episode 7, she tells Homelander, "Surround yourself with people like Firecracker." Translation: fill your circle with loyal idiots, because idiots are predictable, and predictable people are easy to control. So what happens when someone this smart meets a dying man with nothing left to lose? Billy Butcher. 2 ticking time bombs, one intellectual, one emotional, both racing toward the same explosion. And that's why this 6-month time jump matters. It's the calm before the apocalypse. Sage builds her empire. Butcher builds his grave. And Ryan Butcher, stuck between them, decides what kind of god he wants to become. I swear, at this point, the boys' universe has more betrayals than a group chat after a breakup. One week you're fighting fascists, the next you're selling Vought, branded merch. And yes, I still kinda want the Godalkin hoodie. Don't judge me. But here's where things twist. In her Julius Caesar speech, Sage warns Homelander there's one person he'll never defeat. At first, everyone assumed she meant Marie. Wrong. She meant Ryan. That single line is the fuse for the entire next chapter. Because Sage isn't just manipulating Homelander, she's grooming his replacement. She's turning the son into the knife that ends the father. And that is where the real Phase 2 begins. We're gonna peel that open. How Sage's forbidden plan mirrors real-world power systems, what her alliance with Newman actually means, and why Homelander's own ego might be the weapon that finally destroys him. So grab your theories, because what's coming next isn't a war between heroes and villains. It's a war between gods and their creators. Opening recalled suspense. Last time we left off, Sage had already placed the knife in Ryan's hands, and Homelander hadn't even felt the blade yet. Phase 2 starts where morality ends. See, everyone thinks Sage's plan is complicated. It's not. It's mathematical. She believes the only way to purify power is to burn away the variables she can't control. And in her mind, emotion is the biggest variable of all. That's why she needs Homelander. His emotions are predictable. Love, anger, game, massacre. Guilt at denial. Same pattern every season. She can build an empire off that kind of reliability. Let's connect the breadcrumbs. In Episode 3, she demands the government disband the Bureau of Superhuman Affairs. In Episode 7, she gifts Annie the Odessa files, an open invitation to rebellion. And in Episode 8, she lets Godalkin fall while whispering about the next evolution. Added up, Phase 1 collapsed the old oversight systems. Phase 2 taught create chaos so people beg for a single unchallenged order. Phase 3 to hand that order to someone who looks pure enough to be worshipped. Guess who fits that description? Ryan Butcher. But wait, why the kid? Why not just crown herself? Because Sage understands optics. The world forgave Homelander once, it won't forgive another adult god. But a child. A second chance savior. That's the perfect facade. So she raises a martyr in secret while feeding a tyrant in public. It's the oldest strategy in politics. Build your replacement before the people realize they needed one. Ryan's arc has always been about control. Season 4 showed him tasting power, but in Season 5 he's going to choke on it. Imagine a 16-year-old torn between two ideologies, Homelander's might makes right, and Sage's mind over muscle. Both promise purpose, both lie. And somewhere in between stands Annie, his moral compass and emotional guilt trip. You can practically script the confrontation. Ryan screams, "You used me." Homelander smiles, that's what fathers do. And Sage just watches, noting data. Quick poll. If you were Ryan, who would you trust? The father who kills without blinking, or the genius who never shows her cards? Comment below. I want to see which side you'd survive on. Meanwhile, underground, Annie and A-Train are trying to build something resembling hope. Train's guilt is his propulsion. Every life he costs now fuels the miles he runs. And Annie, she's the new face of inconvenient truth. Her live streams are banned, her image erased, yet every deleted video multiplies in the dark web. They're not fighting an army, they're fighting belief. Because once a country worships a symbol, facts don't matter. Homelander became a religion, and religions don't negotiate. So when Crick said Season 5 is a true underground resistance, what he meant was literal tunnels, pirate feeds, stolen V serum just to stay alive. This isn't hero vs villain anymore. It's propaganda of his memory. And yeah, I know. I sound like the guy at 3 a.m. connecting red strings on a corkboard. But tell me this doesn't track every time Sage smiles, someone loses free will. Coincidence? I'll let the comments decide. Now, let's talk about the wild card, Victoria Newman. Everyone forgot she agreed to dissolve the Bureau and ban critical soup theory. That's not just political censorship, that's information warfare. By erasing the history of soups, Sage ensures no one can study their origins, no one can question their legitimacy, no one can organize against them. Think of it like deleting Wikipedia, every court record, every tweet that ever exposed corruption. Gone. You can't rebel if you don't know what you're rebelling against. Knowledge isn't power anymore, it's contraband. We're not exaggerating, it's the weaponization of ignorance. Picture this: Homelander gives a national speech, fireworks blazing behind him. Cameras roll. Ryan stands beside him, smiling, conflicted. Sage watches from a control room. Then, mid-broadcast, everything goes silent except one line from Ryan: "Dead, I'm sorry." Laser flash. Static. Would the country mourn or cheer? That's the question Sage wants answered.